All right, everybody, welcome back for episode 11 of the Dirt to Daytona Wednesday Night Track Walk. I am your host, as always, Joshua Temple. I am joined by every single week with these two lovely gentlemen. Starting off with Jason Nepper, Nep Dog, welcome back. Nep Dog.
Would help if I unmute my mic, right? Thank you, Josh.
There he
Glad to
is.
be back.
All right, and Shiesty, Devin Bradley, welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. Let's just hope this week's runs smooth and steady.
We will hope. But well, as everyone can see on the screen, welcome to episode 11, aka the opening week recap show. We had 5 races to go over and talk about. And to dive a little bit in depth, we have finishing orders, winners, pole awards. We got a lot of information to go through. But before I first get into that, there is going to be a couple people I would like to introduce. At some point in time during the stream, he might pop in, Samo. So we'll see when he does that. Next up on the list is our defending first place Autoglass National Series champion, Zach Clayton, aka Rebneck. Welcome to the show, bub.
Appreciate it, sir.
No, you
Glad to
had
be
a
back.
you had a long week, so I'm ready to talk about that.
Let's do it.
All right, and last but not least, he's here for his first time. He was a very veteran driver, Mr. Justin Claypool. Jay Clay, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate being on the show today.
No, we appreciate you being here, and yeah, we're
He was
ready to
close.
hear your
He
input.
was Jay Clay was close to becoming a Hall of Famer because they didn't think he was going to come back.
Yeah, I
Uh,
had to think about it, especially running with you, Nep. I had to think about long and hard to come back and race with you again.
Yeah, I hear that. Good
hey,
lord.
hey, we take votes on the ballot, okay? Who knows who will make the Hall of
Uh,
Fame next? Only one person's in there, and it's staying like that for a while. But enough of me talking. Mr. Jason Nepper, it's your time to shine.
well, thank you, Josh. This week on Garage Talk with Nap, we cover week one. Mi- Minus Tuesday night's race. 2 words sums up this week. Fucking Daytona. As all 4 classes open the season at Daytona and the Cup closing out the week with race 2 at Phoenix. We have a lot to cover, so let's get it going. First race we're going to cover, we're here for, you know, we have all the other classes, but the main class that we all focus on is the Cup Series. So, first race, we're just going to dive into it. Cups was Monday night at Daytona. Um, as as we qualified, the pole would go to a newcomer, NSR Rob. You know, would go out there and was able to set the pole to start an interesting race. Of the 4 races, and we'll cover the other Daytona races here in a little bit, but to me, I felt this race actually flowed a lot better than the other races at Daytona. I don't know if whether by that point everybody started getting the understanding of how to get it, draft and all that. But stage one for the most part went good. Speedy was able to get out there and take the take the win on the first stage. On the second stage, you know, at first, there was a few cautions that would fly with us getting to see, but then we were able to get to see some good green flag runs. Um, with Samo would capture the stage 2 win, setting up a lengthy stage 3. Another good run. Only I think there was only like 2 or 3 cautions in that last stage, which made it to a lot of good green flag runs, which means pitch strategies. Do I take 2 tires? Do I just take fuel? And then, when should I take 4 tires and all that? We was able to get a green flag run all the way to the finish, and the man who come into the season hot off of the Xfinity Championship, Reb's able to sit there and pull off a win, followed by Smo finished a close second. A newcomer, Bain, would come out there and finish third. MB would finish fourth, and Trickle would finish out the top 5. Some good racing in that race. It was, in my opinion, perhaps one of the best. Then the last race of the week, we would take the Cup cars out to Phoenix. We got a new surface to look at. We've been racing Daytona and all that, so it's good to get to another track. But you got the treacherous turn 2, and until your tires really get in, warmed up and all, it can be a little slick coming around that. Jay Clay had even said in the race, he said, "Man, I'm having a dirt track it around turn 2." Smo went out there and put a fast lap, claiming the pole, but Speedy right there beside him to lead us in this race. But after qualifying, Smo would be penalized for making a mistake and pitting under qualifying. We have a rule that under qualifying you're not allowed to pit. He had a brain fart, whatever you want to call it, and pit it. But he did the right thing, because as we started the race, he would drop down and fall all the way to the back of the pack and would have to race his way back up to the front. So at first, like I said, having to get these tires worn in and all, people were sliding around. It looked like we were going to have Daytona all over, people running into people, but, braking issues and all. But we were able to get things squared away and, had a great race, as we got to see long green flag runs. Stage 1 was won by Speedy. We would start stage 2, rough at first while we got the tires broke in, but then everybody started getting the cars where they needed them to be at, and had long green flag runs to where we were having to do pit strategies with green flag pit stops. But Rob was able to, just take off like a bullet and capture stage 2, setting up for a long final stage. This race was a long race. It was an hour and a half long race. I was telling Josh earlier, my right wrist is still hurting me from that race last night.
We gotta get you conditioned, man.
I'm telling you, we had too long of an off season, I guess. I don't know.
Exactly. I agree. It was a very long and grueling off season.
No, you just got to beat it more, man.
I guess
Wrist will be
something.
just fine after.
It's the
Listen,
reason
he
why
said,
we're
well,
not ready
he
for
tried
kids.
he tried to do that. He probably wouldn't know what to do.
I hear you there.
Sponsored by Blue Chew.
Sponsored by Blue Chew. Yeah, whichever race I end up sponsoring, it's going to have to be the Blue Chew. But anywho, back to the topic at hand. For a long final stage and no cautions, which meant a lot of green pit strategy and green flag runs that played a part in a lot of this. Ran it down. Reb was able to sweep the Cup Series this week. Been a while since we've had somebody, and I said it at the beginning of the season. Reb is my favorite for coming out there in the Cup Series and winning Rookie of the Year. and he's going to be a top candidate to compete for the championship. I feel. Samo was beating down Reb's back door trying to get there. He finished second. MB was able to finish off with third place. Josh finished fourth, and newcomer Dinglehopper, aka Dingleberry, was able to get a top five finish. So Cup racing at Daytona and Phoenix was fun. I think they were two of the better of the races that we had, with the exception of maybe the Truck Series. Truck Series was a pretty good race too, but at this, right now, I'm gonna bring Reb in here. Reb, you sweep
Yes, sir.
the week. You sweep the week. How did that feel to come in here with
Uh,
the class of guys that we have and all that, and to be able to come out there and win two tough races?
Shocking, unexpected. To be honest, I underestimate myself as it is already, but the fact to go to Daytona, and that's my first ever drafting track win. At least for league style racing, that is. And then Phoenix, yeah. That was the one last year. I practiced a lot, obviously, for the championship, so I guess it just carried over.
Right. I mean, you're a hell of a wheelman, man. I will say that. Unfortunately, I had technical issues with Heat 5, so I wasn't able to run, the second half of the season, you know, in the Xfinity class. So I didn't get to race much with you, but I did paid attention to the the chats and all that, and saw that the amount of how good you came into this league and just really caught on and was a dominating force. That I'm looking forward to this season and running with you and all. But with winning back, the first two races of the season, it's putting you in a good shot to make a playoff run. You know, do you think you've got what it takes to possibly pull off your first Cup championship?
I don't know. There's a long season ahead. There's a lot of fast guys. Smo was the car to beat by far last race. He just beat himself, and I capitalized on it. But he had me. I know he did. Speedy alone, he was fast. I don't know what happened to him, but heck, he outpaced me stage one. Josh, he's super fast. He's got his tracks that he just goes in and can. It feels like at least at the old game could dominate. I mean, JPR, for instance. I mean, I don't know. I didn't even know he lagged out until the end of the race, but I was wondering because I was expecting to see him up there all, last night at Phoenix. So could have been a very different outcome if Smo didn't beat himself there, and if JPR was there. Y'all might be talking to somebody else also tonight. I don't know, but I tried to capitalize on what I had and took it.
Wow. You know,
Now, before
you,
we hop on this next segment here, I've got a question for Rev. I know fuel saving and tire management is a big part of your race. I feel like that's kind of propelled the rest of the league into that fuel and tire conservation mode. How do you feel that the competition will square up later on in the season when more people start to learn this game and how to save?
You just got to have the speed also at the same time. I mean, it's hard to have speed and save at the same time. I grew up on a different game. I didn't never really do league racing until recent. I grew up on Papyrus racing, and on that game, you had to conserve your tires and real well. So I've always drove in a more conservative style, letting out early into the corners with more exit speed. As to where on this game, I've noticed a lot of people like to drive it deep. Well, driving it deep, you're going to heat up the right front and burn off your right side. As to where if you drive it smooth and try to carry exit speed, it's a little, in my opinion, a little, at least my driving style, I should say, it conserves for myself. It's just little things. I don't really know how to explain. I'm not a good teacher, more than just a driver, but I hope everybody catches on. I mean, I'm not trying to pull like in a extremely conservative card. Daytona, honestly, I kind of got lucky and caught the draft on the way out to pits, and I just played a little strategy. I knew we had 10 laps on a full tank, so I took a can and a half to shorten my pit stop up, and I knew I had to save 2 laps. So that's what I did, and I got lucky with the draft and just rode behind them. Just be patient. It's not all about going as fast as you can or laying the fastest lap down. It's about just being patient, conservative, and running your race. And I promise you'll knock out top fives a lot more than you think.
I'm glad
Well
you said
spoke.
that. I am glad you said that because I mean, and we'll cover that here in a little bit. But that was one thing I seen at Daytona and in all the races is people just wanted to win it on the first turn or
Yeah, you can't. That's how
trying
you
to
ruin your
force
race.
things, trying to force things that weren't there. So you're a
It's
great
okay to
guy.
let out.
Yeah, you're a great guy to race with, and I feel you have the knowledge to help out other drivers because I think you're the same way as Josh. Yeah, you like to win, but in the same sense, you want every race to be competitive, and we thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, you're part of Team Rowdy. How's things clicking over there at Team Rowdy?
Oh heck! Well, I mean, what is it, Rowdy? I pushed her back to the team or to not having to win everything. That was like what I think it was the truck race. I pushed Rowdy without even the thought of trying to get around him. Like, I'm in this as we have teams now, so I want Rowdy to win just as much, if not more. And same thing with Ford. And I apologize for not remembering the other. I think Cassidy and I can't remember the other guy's name, but I want all of us to win, and I feel like we've got off to a really good start. With Rowdy a truck win, me sweeping the weekend, I think we got a stage win potentially, and maybe a pole out of something. I can't
Yeah,
remember, but
Ennis Rob is over there at Rowdy, and he got the pole at Daytona.
Rob, that's it. Yep.
I mean not Daytona. Yeah, Daytona. Yeah, you know, and then you got the new girl,
Yes,
Redeemer. That
she wasn't
I
there. Was
think
she there?
she was there for the Daytona race, and she's green. We'll
Yeah.
all admit that she's green and all, but I think with you and Rowdy, um, I think she's got potential to if she listens to what y'all tell her. I think she's going to do good. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
unfortunately, her first race out there was Daytona, and that was
It's like just throwing them to the sharks.
yeah, exactly. But Reb, I greatly appreciate you coming on and being able to talk with us and all that. Um, hopefully, we'll be able to sit down and talk with you more.
I hope so. That means I might get another win.
Never know.
I can promise everybody my reign, even if I got lucky at Vegas, it will come to an end at Coda. I promise.
At least at Coda, maybe me and you can race together because
Right,
I
we
don't
will.
do good at road courses either.
Heck, I'll be running in the back with somebody, I promise.
All right, bud. Well, thank you for coming, and we will holler at you in a little while.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Great guy. All right, back to the agenda at hand. All right, so we covered the Cup races. We got 3 more races to cover. So let's get into it. Real quick, Josh,
Hmm.
before we get into this one, you
Yes.
want to go ahead and take a, you know, you know, well, we ain't got to that one yet. You know what? Well, let's save that. Let's go hop over to the House of Vets truck. You know, we ran it on Monday night. No, scratch that. We ran that Sunday night. The second race was there. And with it being the House of Vets and this week being veterans, and real quick, thank you, Jay Clay, for being for everything you did for our country and all that, and being a vet. Thank you so much for that.
Hey, it's no problem. I appreciate the acknowledgement.
You know, we're gonna cover the House of Vets Truck Series Sunday night. It was the second race that we ran. We were running at the high banks of Daytona, with most drivers pulling double duties, as jumping from the ARCA cars over to the trucks. After qualifying, the pole winner was Big Mike coming out there with a big, getting a pole and sitting outside front row. Yours truly was able to somehow manage his second place start. Um, we go into stage one was was a lot better than the Arco race with only a few yellow coming out. At the end of stage one, Big Mike was still, P1 going into stage two, holding strong. Could he possibly, stay strong and win it? Um, he'd go out there the second stage, run his race and all, and was able to sweep stage one and two. So looking like he had the potential to win this truck race. This being in realistically in the D2D league, this is the inaugural, just like we got the ARCA inaugural season. This is a truck inaugural season. So we go into stage three. Mike had a fast truck. Could he hold off the final stage and pick up a race sweep, or would someone else get the win? Stage three was perhaps the best stage all week with all green flag runs, but when the dust settled, Rowdy would be leading us to the finish after a last lap pass on Josh going into the tri-oval. Josh, you had it all the way up to the tri-oval, and then you got split. Rowdy came to your outside and was able to beat you to the line.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah. Reb, who we just talked to, he finished second.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me put that in play. Josh is leading going into turn three and the whole final lap going into the tri-oval. He's leading.
Yeah, my bad, Josh. I was slightly responsible for that.
Rowdy finishes first. Reb finishes second. Shiesty, you finish third. And then Josh finally finishes fourth. And Samo comes out there and, finishes out the top five.
Let's talk about that.
Josh.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think we're good. We can go ahead and hop
No.
over to.
No. We're gonna hold this train up right here. I'm pulling the e-brake. Anywho, so
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not one to go out and try to lead a Daytona. I'm always one to try to be the pusher. Different story when it came to racing this weekend, this opening weekend. I wanted to be out front. Um, so yeah, me and Shiesty were nose to tail. We came into three. I saw Reb and Rowdy getting a run on the outside. So I'm watching in my mirror and I'm watching Shiesty. I was like, okay. I'm like, hopefully he doesn't jump up there and go with them. Hopefully he stays with me. Which he stayed locked in the bumper, which was good. Um, as we're coming out of four, he was not centered with the push he gave me. And it scooted my ass end up the track. And oh my! I just lost all speed. Reb and Rowdy were able to just rip the top. Shiesty, of course, passed under me, and I was just a sitting duck. But we did come across the line three wide, so that was cool. But yeah, if it wasn't for Shiesty jacking the rear end up out of four, I don't know if I'm thinking. I mean, the run that Reb and Rowdy had, it looked like it was going to be very close. So I don't know if Rowdy would have got it or not. I don't know if I would have got it. I have no clue. But yeah, he Shiesty jacked my ass, end up coming out of four, and we lost all steam.
So with that one, I decided to back it up about halfway through 3 and 4 because I seen coming down the backstretch that Reb and Rowdy were backing it up, and they were going to get this crazy run coming out of the turn 4 there.
Yeah, we were
And I was
rolling.
like, well, I know if they've got the pace that I'm thinking they're going to have, I'm not going to be able to jump up in front of them. So I'm just going to give Josh a big old shot coming out of 4, and hopefully that pushes me and him ahead of Reb and Rowdy. And I hit him a little bit off center to the left rear quarter, and it got his car or truck all cockeyed. And yeah, that's what she wrote. It was either try to give Josh a shot from hell to propel him to the front, or to continue to lead to the checkered and me hopefully come home second, or me jump up in front of Rowdy and Reb and wipe all of us in the top 4 out. So sucks that I couldn't push Josh properly to the win, but at the same time, as Samo would say, that's the product of racing they want coming out of Daytona and Talladega. So I had a choice to make, and I made it. I just didn't quite execute it.
Hey, we didn't wreck and we held our lanes. So I mean, wasn't a
Hey,
win, but it's a win. Like
yep.
that's
All
how I
right.
look at it.
All I know is when we had that run coming down the backstretch, I had my mind made up that it was either going to be Rowdy or one of y'all. I wasn't leaving, but we were going to catch y'all one way or another.
Well, you know, Josh got shuffled out of the works there, you know, and it's racing and good racing and all that, you know, but we'll find out here in a little bit. Josh actually almost had it happen again, but he got saved by a caution. But anyways,
Oh, yeah.
you know, but with that finishing the truck race, I'm gonna send it over to you, Josh. I believe, Rowdy on Wednesday night. Would I know he'd love to be here and all, but unfortunately he's got his pool thing. And
Hmm.
best of luck to you, Rowdy. I know you're watching because I've seen you comment in the chat, but um, I believe you have an interview pre-recorded with Rowdy.
Yes, sir, I
So I'm gonna let
do.
you have it.
Alrighty. Yep. So I did give Rowdy a little interview here earlier today, just to talk about how everything went with the truck race. So here goes nothing.
All right, I am Josh. I am here with the winner of the D2D House of Vets Frontline Truck Series, Mr. Mark Ray, aka Rowdy 1078. Rowdy, I have a couple questions for you to ask real quick. The first one, again, congratulations on the win. How does it feel getting that first win under your belt for the season?
Man, it's a great feeling, man. The inaugural race for the House of Vet Truck Series, man. It's couldn't have been a better finish, man. It was a great race. God, it was I don't know, it was just really competitive, and I didn't expect to win it, man. I thought for sure you or whoever up there you was racing with was going to get that W, and me and Reb, man, we just hooked up and made it happen. It was amazing. It was great.
The 3 wide finish at the end was made that worth it. So.
Golly, it was, man. It was. You keep talking about this race a lot over the rest of the season. You're gonna go back. This is gonna be a tough one. You get to or other super speedway track to stand up to. Like we set the bar kind of high.
Exactly. All right. So the next question I got for you. How was it going from the ARCA cars and then jumping straight into those trucks?
Well, for those of us that will remember, it's almost like jumping out of Uncle Buck's car and then jumping into a race vehicle. Will probably be the proper determination of that, explanation.
I love the answer. It was 2 different cars. And,
yeah,
man,
they were bouncy and just underpowered. You could tell they're fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're fun to drive because they're different, and you really got to wheel that thing, buddy. I'm talking about sawing on it. Saturday night short track, local short track stuff type. Man, it was fun, but the trucks was night and day.
Yeah, no, I definitely couldn't agree with that. The next question I got for you. Anyone you would like to give a shout out to for that win?
Yeah, give a shout out to my boy Rebneck, man. He stuck with me. He could have left me out dry, man, a couple times, and he stuck with me. And I'd like to give a shout out to the whole field, man, for just being patient above all else. And everybody's competitive. There are no ducks. Everybody's fast. And I just want to give a shout out to the whole entire racing field for the inaugural House of Vets Truck Series race at Daytona to be as great as it was. So give a shout out to everybody for that.
It definitely was a good race.
Yeah.
One last thing I do have here, though. So you're locked in now to the playoffs for the trucks, which is awesome.
Yes.
How do you feel about your chances at grabbing that first championship for the truck series?
Well, the racer in me says pretty damn good chance. I feel like it's going to be a great chance to secure that first ever series championship trophy at the end of the season. But the reality is it's going to be tough, and there are some sharks out there. You feel me? So it's going to be tough. One race, man. We still got a lot to go. There's a Corey Heim out there somewhere, I know, that's going to come up there and win 8 or 9 of them. So the racer mindset, yeah, man, I got a good chance of winning it, and I'm going to win it. But the reality of it is it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, you are a champion. You won the first place Auto Glass National Series inaugural race championship. So you're looking to go for another one. So Rowdy, I wish you good luck for the rest of the season. Thanks for taking the time out tonight, and I hope you have a good one. And again, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate having me on. Look to do many more of these.
Yeah, we'll hope so. That Rowdy 1078, everybody.
And that was the interview with the Rowdy 1078.
Man, Rowdy's a great guy, and for him to, well, hello, Samo, welcome to the live.
Oh,
Hey,
How's it going, buddy?
good. How are you?
I want you to know you made my day today, Samo,
With?
by mentioning in chat earlier that I'm no longer on thin ice, that now it's Speedy's ice.
Oh, correct. Yes, I did say that.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd say he made it just in time, if you ask me. With
I don't know if he really wanted to pop up when he did, though, because this next one, like, literally, I made notes for these races, and literally, this is how I start out for this next race. The first place auto glass. To be honest, I'm going to speed through this race so we can get it behind us, because not knocking a shitty segment, but shit show says it all.
that was a rough fucking race to be a part of.
glad we got it cleared up for
Mhm.
later that night. That's for sure.
You know, I don't know if it was, because we hadn't raced in a couple months, and new people coming in, or just people forgetting to fucking bring their fucking head. I don't know. But anyways, let's get into this so we can get this fucking race behind us. The race started with Rowdy Rooster getting the pole, and Wolfie starting outside front row. What was set up to be a great inaugural race for the ARCA series in the D2D league soon turned into a nightmare, with cars not lifting when needed, pushing too hard in the turns, to forcing um, uncontrolled three wide racing. Cars was all over the place as the caution bug hit hard, you know. But after all the turmoil was over, Josh, you picked up the win, the first ever ARCA win for the league. Second place came to Samo. Third was Dr. Shiesty. Fourth place was JPR, a new up and comer, and fifth place was there he is again, Red Nation or Redneck. So that was I don't know what else to say. I mean, other than somebody passed me the freaking Excedrin or something, because that race was a nightmare. I mean, we could replay that race every Halloween, and it'd probably be like a top, horror flick. But anyways, that's over with. let's get to the next race. On Monday night, we opened up the night with the Xfinity cars at Daytona, hoping for a better race than the ARCA race. The race started with James has speed, and MB will have to get back with me, but I'm pretty sure that was James's first ever pole win. So, he was able to claim the pole, and NASCAR started on the outside of the front row. Sadly, it didn't take long for the yellows to start following. Stage one would go to Reb Nation. Josh was ready to bring out his backup. He quoted in the race, um, I'm ready to bring out my backup car to start this second stage." He'd been bounced around so much. Um, but keep that in mind because that first stage, I mean, Josh was getting pelted left and right. Um, Stage two was a little cleaner. Only a few cautions flew. And at the end of stage two, Wolfie would win the stage. As we started the third and final stage, unfortunately, yellows came back out heavy in stage three. As the leaders took the one lap to go, a caution flew, ending the race with Josh getting the win. Yours truly finished second. Almost, I was at his back tire making a move to get my career best finish. You know, third place went to Hades. Fourth place would go to Rooster, and fifth place would be Dr. Shiesty. It was a better race than the ARCA. Um, Josh, you're able to go out there win the inaugural race for the Xfinity, and I've got to say, everything that you do for this league and putting it together, and it's starting the league. As we know from previous shows, it started with you and another person bringing this thing together. They're no longer here. We don't need to talk about that. But you could have easily said, you know what, I'm not dealing with this fucking headache and closed the whole thing down, but you chose to keep it going and you bring you put so much time and effort into this that you wanted to bring the ARCA series in because it's new to the game and all that. And for you to go out there and even with the shit show that it was, for you to be able to capture the first ARCA, win. Hats off to you, bud. You by far you deserved it. You know, and then to then go back the next night. You know, you almost went back to back with winning the ARCA race and the truck race, but Shiesty made sure that didn't happen. Then we go to the Xfinity class, had a good run and all that, and come down there to the white flag. You're able to cross the line, and as we all know with NASCAR, um, once the white flag falls, the next flag ends the race, be it yellow or the checker. And right as we crossed the finish line, you were able to. The caution came out. You're able to pick up the win, getting getting the first win of the season for the ARCA series. So, congratulations to you, bud. Um, how you feel about winning those two races?
Nope, thank you. It takes a lot to put this together. People don't realize on the back end, it's a second job and it's a second full time job. If I'm not working, I'm dealing with stuff, trying to set stuff up for the league. Even when I'm working, I will go on Chat GPT or something and have something running in the back end to try to finish some stuff up so I can get ready for the show or for the league. Um, it's not an easy task at all. I'm very grateful for the group that we've had and we've had over the seasons, and it's becoming years now. So everyone that has stuck around, everyone that's came and continues to show up and be a part of it every week, I won't take that for granted. I really do appreciate that because not that I just enjoy it. I'm living it. It's something that I love seeing people come together and be able to do something like this. Um, and it's phenomenal, and it that makes me happy. And we always put a little something on the line, no matter if it's a trophy, a couple bucks, something like that, just to keep the element of we can go out and get something from this. So it's nice to have, and it's like you said, I could have just walked away and been like, I don't want this headache anymore. It is a headache, but it's a headache that I love dealing with. So yeah, it's not a headache from people; it's a headache from keeping stuff together. Always
Right.
brainstorming for ideas and shit. So that's a big thing here. But to the winning aspect of it, I will never get tired of the feeling winning a race in anything that has to do with our leagues. Uh, well, our series, but for the league in general, I mean, all the cup wins. Now I just, it will never be boring. It will always be like an accomplishment. Like I will always be excited about it. Dude, I jump up and down when I win any fucking race that we do. So, I really enjoyed it. It was very surprising because, like I said earlier, I'm always wanting to be a pusher. I never want to be out front leading it, but this week was different. I wanted to take my time. I pushed everybody on saying take your time, make smart decisions and shit, and I would do that in every single goddamn race. And I would always, I thought it was hilarious. The first two stages I get wiped out. The last stage somehow I find myself in the top three with like seven to go, six to go. So, um,
It to me it just goes to show, too many times in previous, seasons and all
mhm,
that, somebody an incident happened at the beginning of the race and they'll get upset and they'll just, well, I'm down, I'm tore up, I'm leaving and all, but just the drive to stay in there, that okay, things didn't go as I was hoping for, so I'm gonna go out there and just make the best of it. And you're able to, like you said, at the end of stage one, I'm ready to pull out the backup car. This one's fucking trash.
mhm.
You know, to be able to stick with it and to still be able to pull out the win. That's phenomenal. That you're a hell of a wheelman, a great driver, great owner. Um, I will never put my feet in another league, NASCAR wise, because in my opinion, it, you know, why why try the best? Why try the rest when you've already sampled, when you already tasted the best?
I appreciate that now.
You know, but you know, go out there. You win two races this week, and they were hard races. Daytona is a at,
Hard
to
races.
coin
He was a wreck
the
fest. That's
yeah,
it. Just
yeah.
it just came to
At
people
times,
just trying to force too many issues. And also car awareness was terrible. Um, and people just showing lack of talent at times, and also I'll never understand the don't come up and push me, yet people will go ahead and force a spot to force two other people in a worse position, and you're not even pushing them. You're just shoving your car through the center of two cars. So I don't
yeah,
get that whole thing, and I never will because
I hate,
I
I
root
hated
for
getting,
everyone to shove
yeah,
my ass into my fuel tank. Push me. I don't give a fuck if I'm sideways. Push me. I'll learn to hold on to the car. Again, I love it. I love to feel the car. If it kicks out, I love to hold on to it. I love being a wheelman, and I will do everything that a wheelman does. So yeah, I'll never get that. But yeah, they were two interesting races. But I got saved by the cautions right at the end. Because personally, when it came to the ARCA race, Samo and Shiesty were directly behind me, two teammates in the Cup Series, and I was just like, they're gonna come haul ass around me, and I got saved by the caution there. And then Same thing with the Xfinity race. Took the white flag,
Um,
and I had you on my right
Josh.
rear quarter.
Josh.
What?
You are not on their team in the cup. You are on Big Mike's team.
I know. I
I'll
know.
tell you what, that Xfinity race was exciting towards the
Unless there
end.
was
I
some
wish we
trade that
could have.
came across that I don't know
No.
about.
No, but I'm
I
just
mean,
saying they were there and they were pushing each other. And I was like, they're gonna freight
Yeah.
train around my ass. Fuck.
it was looking like it was gonna happen up until that caution came out.
Mhm.
So Mo got a glory shot. He took the outside. I followed him, and
Caution.
boom, yellow flag.
It
I'm
was. It was
I'm convinced
2
he's got a
feet.
speed. He's got a speed dial button over there. Yep, yellow flag. I need it.
Uh, if that was the case,
Well,
I'd be hitting it way more often.
well,
All right,
in the
guys. I gotta get the plane to Vegas for next week's here, so I gotta roll.
All right,
all
Reb.
right, Reb.
We'll
You have
catch
a
you
good
next
night,
week,
buddy.
buddy.
All right, y'all have a good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no, always, of course.
Now, I will admit I shifted the magnets to the back of my car in that Xfinity race on that last pit stop because I was hoping I could get around you and it catch the front of your car. That way you couldn't get back around me. And I went to make my move, and right, and I'm like, damn, I might actually win this race. I might actually win this race. And we crossed the line, and I go to make that move because I hear in the in my ear, oh, they're wrecking, they're wrecking. I'm like, fuck, I got to get around Josh. I got to get around Josh because I know a caution's about to come out,
Hmm.
and so it's like I got to get by him, and then also the caution come out, and I was making a move, trying to get beside you and all to get by you, and just fell just a hair short.
Nep, I'm gonna cut you off quick, and I know Samo feels the same way. I'm sure Seisty does. You deserve to at least get one. And to be completely honest, if I saw you were there, and you were coming around me, and you were by yourself, I might have dragged the fucking brake a little bit and like let you squeeze down in front because there's nothing I want to see more than finally see you get one. And you're getting close. Yeah, again, like
The
you
Well,
said,
time is due.
yeah, that was
you
your
know,
best career finish. It was second. You need
yeah,
one more position to go get it.
not to toot my own horn, but I every season I put goals on myself.
Hmm.
And I want that win, that elusive first win, and I feel there's a good possibility in one of these series that it could come this season. Knock on wood, that happens. If it doesn't happen, I'm not going to be discouraged or anything, but I'm going to go out there. I'm not going to be a dirty racer. I
Hmm.
try my best to run a clean race. I mean, so if I'm able to pull one off, man, everybody might get to see the freaking me chugging a beer in a speedo picture. Okay, I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm gonna share the fucking love.
uh,
But one of my goals is I got a tough luck award. You know, in the Xfinity series, like because of the PlayStation situation and
yep.
all that.
Hmm.
But I'd like to. I really since this new game came out, I've really been getting on here and it's like in my off time or when we're practicing and really trying to improve my skills and all that, so that I can maybe throw my hat in most uh, improved driver
Hmm.
award type deal. So, but it's always fun racing with you, Josh. But this is about you, not about me. You go out there, win 2 races. You're looking strong in the extent. Well, I'm gonna say as we've seen in the past, you're the most winningest driver in this league, and it's not because you're the owner; it's because that's how good you are. And you're every season, every class, you're going to be a top candidate to be that you know competing for that championship. And you've got what 4?
Yeah, I got 4 in the cup side. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm maybe this season might be a drive for 5.
Drive
Then
for
we'll have to
5.
put you in the 24 car.
Yeah, we're gonna see what we can do. A lot of talent in this league this season, and you know, between new people, returning people, it's gonna be hard to see someone come through and win races back to back like Reb just did, and
Yeah.
I'm mind blown about that. So, and I got 2 of the 5 this week, so that was something that I was very confused about because I went to this like, all right, I need to pull off top fives this week, and I got 2 of the wins. So that was cool, but we got a lot of work to do from here on out. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, this roster of drivers that we've got this season, between like you said, the returning drivers and the new drivers. I mean, this is just week one, so it's really, you know, I sit there and ask, well, how you feel about, you know, being in the play, locking yourself in the playoff, and how that make you feel, potential winning a championship, but realistically, as hard, as tough as this roster is and all, you know, Smo didn't pick up one this week, but you know, it's the Mo. At some point, he's going to hit his stride. So, realistically, it's hard to. It might come down to that last race leading into the championship to decide. You know, there could be four. There could be a person leading the points going into that last race, and they end up not even making it into the championship.
We've seen it
Race.
happen before. We've
So
so yeah, I will definitely have to see. And I have a streak right now. I've been in every single championship 4 that we've had in the league, and I am gonna try my damnedest to make all 4 of them this season. But we'll see what happens.
I appreciate you, Josh, and all. But with that right there, that was week one. Um, we head to week two next week, Sunday night. We have the Arcas at Rockingham. We have the trucks running at Bristol. The one thing I like is this week, all but the Phoenix race, everything was at one track. Well, now's where this week, from now until Sunday, you can't just focus on one track because you got to focus each class and practice a different track. So it's not like you're going to be able to take your notes from the ARCA cars and add them to the truck and the Xfinity and the Cup because it's all different tracks. We got ARCA at Rockingham. That's a track that all of us are new to. It wasn't on Heat 5. We got Bristol in the trucks. Xfinity is going to be at Worldwide. And in Cups, we got Vegas and a new track, Coda. And I know a lot of our road course guys, they are really looking. They've circled Coda because they are looking forward to that race. So, but that's next week, and all the time I have for tonight. So let's throw this podcast over to Shiesty for Shitty Showtime.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Nep. This is Shitty Showtime where I want the panel, the guest panel, and the live chat to get interactive, ask questions, answer my questions, and let's get her going. The first one here we have with Team Shake and Bake going 2 for 2 this week. Do you think, or do you see the draft any differently? Whether that be the picks of the rounds or whatever it might be.
For me,
I
it's
have
too
spent.
early.
Oh,
It's too early to
yeah.
figure that one out.
Well, I sat there today and literally went over all 5 of the races, so that I can make my notes for tonight and all. And the draft was cool and all, but realistically, there's cats out there that how to word this. It, you know, maybe I shouldn't have had that second beer, but there's some out there that I think they're going to shine. It's hard, like Josh said, it's way too early to predict anything. Yeah, Red went out there and won back, swept the Cup race. Josh was able to pick up 2 wins. The Arca and the Xfinity. Rowdy went out there and picked up the truck ring. Um, Working, we're only teammates in the cups, but one thing that I'm seeing is to build that relationship as a cup team. They're working together in the other classes as well, even though each class is an individual class. But you know that helps them get ready for the cup races. So I think as as Team NASCAR, as we start to really click together, um, we're going to come together. As Rowdy starts working with some of his other guys, they're going to be up there. Speedy, you know, King Thin Ice. Did, did I put somebody to sleep? But
Nope, that's
Speedy.
my dog sitting in my damn lap. My bad.
But Speedy, his boy, Rooster, who has been gone for a little bit. He's came back this season. He had strong cars. So it's. I think it's. Your team, Shiesty. I don't really think you can at this point really just say, "All right, this team's got is the team to beat." I think it's an equal playing field.
I gotta 100% agree here. I feel like everywhere or everyone was taken at a certain position for some reason or another.
I think we'll have
And
the snoring dog segment.
yep. She likes to make an entrance, that's for sure. The next question I have here is the NASCAR Heat 5 MB truly back? I seen him running top 5 pretty much all day yesterday at Phoenix, and he was running pretty damn good at Daytona too, as long as he wasn't taken out. Do you guys think we have the NASCAR Heat 5 MB?
I think we have a better version, actually. I
Yeah.
was just watching him yesterday. He's really taken to this game very well in a short period of time. So just a little bit more practice and a couple more weeks, and I think he's going to be another one that you're going to be battling for stage points, for top fives, for possible multiple wins.
Yeah. I mean, when you MB was late to get in the game, so it was almost one of those. He got the game, got on, and was having to learn to feel. I think I don't think he would have been shuffled around as much in the draft had he was able to get the game when everybody else did. But you can tell in just what a week and a half since he got the game, he's gone from here to way the hell up here. So like Samo said, I think we got a better MB than Heat 5. And I think there's a lot of guys that are showing that in this game they're going to be better than what they were in Heat 5. So it's going to be interesting to see what MB does.
And to touch on that, when we were racing at Phoenix, he was starting to mess with his adjustments. Whatever he figured out, he figured it the hell out because I had a pit earlier than him, so I think I had like what 3 or 4 laps extra on my tires, and he drove about 2.5 seconds behind me to get to me, and he got to me when we got to the white flag, and him, we were drag racing, and I basically spun it off at 2, but yeah, he packed a punch and he came out swinging, and he's got a fourth and a third in the Cup Series so far. So it's cool seeing that, and yeah, he's gonna be well on his way to being way better than what he was on Heat 5.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and the third place is really what you have to almost look at, because Daytona, anybody can do anything, and things happen and people get shuffled front to back. But Phoenix is a true tell of how you wrap your head around how the car is handling. And he showed really, really good improvement. I think he's doing really well.
I 100%
After seeing him
agree.
in the first practice, I wasn't sure what to think of it too much, and then he came out in Phoenix and really proved me and anyone that thought he wasn't going to be as good for how late he did get the game completely wrong. And I'm almost glad that he did, because MB's one of those guys that I look forward to battling week in and week out. With the next question here, I've got, who will be the first to tear Reb's reign of terror down? That's a mouthful.
I think Reb's going to be a strong candidate there at Vegas. But he even said it himself. Coda, he's not good at road course. So, and we discussed this earlier. Rebs came on hot. He came in hot on the Xfinity, and then now he's up here in the Cup, and he comes out there and was able to sweep the week. But with the roster that we have, I mean, it anybody. I feel I wouldn't be shocked if we start seeing a lot of new winners and all that. So that I don't think we're going to have that season where one person comes out there and just dominates the season and wins double-digit wins. I think there's enough good real good drivers in this league that anybody, that it might come down to the playoffs. Just because you've won a race does not mean you're locked in, because you might have over 16 people has won a race. So then it's where stage points matters the most, and points matter.
I agree there. I feel like there's about 6 or 7 guys that are going to be fighting for that top 4 finale spot at the end of the season. It's going to be a really tight battle all the way to the end this season. Nep, I'd actually like you to bring next question up here.
All right. Well, gotta wait for Josh to flip it over. Looking back at Daytona, and we all know it's not Smo's favorite track by far in the game, and the outcome of it, was a shit show. People not knowing how to fucking drive, or driving with their ego, or whatever the case may be. So my question is, will all the, we have another super speedway in the schedule. Will all the drivers have their heads out of their asses, or will it still be a shit show by the time we get to Talladega?
Shit show.
I second that.
Should have put my money on that one.
I hope people learn patience before we get there, but I just don't see that happening, sadly.
Yeah,
I think it's just a product of that racing. It's just
I love it.
that's
well,
what it is.
but we
What you
see.
got.
I mean, the thing is, we saw in the Cup race, towards the end of the Cup race, and in the truck race, that when people didn't drive with their fucking ego, and they actually focused on cars in front of them, and they didn't try to force shit, we had good runs. But when you had them people up there that just because they got a fast car, they want to stick it where the fucking they want to just stick it where they can. It's not going to work out that way. Now Talladega is a little bit wider than Daytona. One thing that I learned with this game now, and it could have just been me, I hated getting sucked up into the middle. If like 2 cars split me and I ended up in the middle, I would start backing off. I was not going to try to, because it's like the force that you got inside that middle. You couldn't keep the car straight, so you were bobbing up and down the track and all, and a wreck was going to occur. But you would have people that would just shove it in there 3 wide, and then they're pinballing off of other cars because it's so hard to keep the car straight in that middle line. Um, Learning the good Lord, Josh, you're blowing my damn phone up.
Sorry, I'm in the middle of doing stuff.
Multitasking at its finest.
You know, the key is, and I think Josh will end up having an aneurysm if people don't fucking listen to him
Oh yeah, it's
because
gonna
he
pop,
tried
dude.
to say it from the get go. Guys, be patient. Don't force stuff. And as soon as it gets out of his mouth, here we go. Boom. People's not wanting to listen. And that's what I mean. Are they going to have their head up their ass, or are they going to actually show up and want to race and not be a dumbass?
I agree, and I hope we're wrong. I really hope we're wrong, but I just don't know if we're gonna be. So we're gonna hope and pray things will definitely get better.
I mean, I will say this: compared to Heat 5 Daytona's races and NASCAR 25, uh, from what I have seen, take the little "don't push me" bullshit, but in in Heat 5, it was basically like Samo said, he'd fall asleep in them fucking races. It was literally get behind somebody, push them. You couldn't pass, and it was just boring as hell. But with I'm trying to think of the prop. With this new game, you really have to be able to wheel a car. You're not going to get luck and just, oh, it's a racing game, and it might be an arcade setting, but you've got to have some type of driving skills in this game. And that's one thing I've seen with, you know, with Daytona was, you know, in Heat 5 you get a whole line bumper to bumper. Well, in this game you can't do that. It to me. You could go bumper to bumper if it's you and one other car, maybe a third car at the most. It's almost like when the COT cars came out in NASCAR, and they was having to do the, you know, 2-car draft.
The tandems.
Yeah, the tandem draft. That's how I feel this game aspect is you can get by on them super speedways running 2 cars in that draft, but if you get, more than 3, it slows down that whole field. You know, so it's hard to get that outside run if you got, before in Heat 5, you could get 3, 4, 5 cars out there on the outside line and pull up beside the inside row. Well, on this one, if you got 2 cars, you can pull up there with them, but if you get more than that, you almost lose all drive.
Well, it's something we're going to have to figure out here towards the end of or as we progress through the season. I'd like to click over to this last slide here and ask if any of you guys, guest hosts, the main hosts, or the live chat, have any questions for us.
Is Jay Clay still in here, by the way?
Yeah, I am. I'm
Jay,
just
got any
listening.
questions? Let me hear.
Not really a question, more of a statement.
That's fine. Shoot it.
This
Go for it.
game is way different than what I remember in Heat 5. It takes a lot of finesse, and it's going to take a lot of time to get used to running with everybody that you never ran with before. Because there's a lot of people that just force it up in there. There's a lot of people that wait. It just happens.
And
So
sadly,
it's
what
going to
we're
be a
seeing,
learning experience.
yeah, and what we're seeing the people that are forcing it are getting the farthest, which needs to not be that way, because soon the people are forcing it are going to get taken the fuck out by somebody. And then it's going to be like, well, this one took me out. And then be like, well, I wonder why. And then
Yeah,
we're going to have a
Yeah,
huge case on our hands.
yeah.
man.
Unfortunately, I think in this game, it happened too in Heat 5, but more so in this game. If you are the clean driver and you happen to get hit by somebody not being able to hold their line, the clean driver always ends up getting the worst of it. The car with the momentum, like the car moving up or the car hitting you, is going to be fine. It's the car that takes the hit that gets
Yeah.
just completely, you know.
Also, I know I'm behind the times, but this whole pit strategy thing where you have to do it while you're driving takes a lot of practice. With me being on a controller, it's almost impossible to do without screwing something up.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's a whole new aspect, and everybody's got to get used
Hmm.
to it. Controllers definitely going to be a lot harder than wheel and pedals. So that's going to be a struggle to figure out. And I hope the best for you there, Jay Clay, because that's a
Well,
big part of the league.
I think as we
But
get in, the one thing about like with the pit strategy, I like that option instead of waiting until you get to pit road to make yourself, because in real racing, you don't wait till you're pulling on pit road before you say, all right, well, let's go with four tires. Let's do it. You're calling in what you want before you even pit, you know. But at Daytona in Talladega, you're running in a pack, and to look down, you're wanting to focus on what's going on the track. Well, now you're sitting there having to focus on the track, plus focus on your adjustments over here. That it's real easy to bobble or get into somebody. I think as we get to the tracks like Vegas and some of the other tracks where you're not running that big ass pack, I think it's going to be. Phoenix was actually, it was easier for me. It was easier because I would set up my pit strategy as I was coming down that back straightaway. That way I'd come into four, go through the little goofy ass fucking dog leg, whatever you want to call it, and then I've already got everything set up to where I could dip off into the pit. I wouldn't try to go high into turn two, turn 1 and 2, and then try to dive down into the pit like one of my teammates did try to do.
Well, Josh, I'm not seeing any questions or comments here on the
Cool.
live. So if nobody else on the panel has any questions, I think we're good to head on.
Going once, going twice. Sold. All right. Okay. Um, Everyone that's viewing and or viewed the video, I appreciate you stopping in, looking at how our first opening week on NASCAR 25 went for the league. A lot of
Make sure to tap
learning.
that like button.
Yeah, yeah. Hit that subscribe and punch the shit out that like button, dude. If you're not punching it, we don't want it. But yeah, man. I hope there's a lot to learn from this opening week, and hopefully people can carry on. Phoenix was a great race. It was a lot. You saw the talent spread out through the field. Um, so that was also really cool to witness. And yeah, I know some guys that should have been up in top 10 got the shitty end of the stick. But hopefully, I'm not saying that you have to be defensive on it, but you have to be defensive on who you're driving around. And if you know you're driving around someone that's vulnerable to breaking loose and not being able to hold onto their car, you're learning that early. So you know to stay away later on in the season, especially if it's coming down to, oh, you need 5 points to get into the next round of the playoffs, or you're approaching a lap car and you're leading with 5 laps to go. Now you know which way that you're going to take it when you get to them. So, um, as always, thank you everyone for joining. Jay Clay, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. Samel, thanks for coming
no
in late.
problem.
I appreciate you
Yeah,
popping in at
absolutely.
the end.
Sorry I couldn't get
I
in
was
earlier.
No, you're all
Yeah,
good.
I was trying to join sooner. I
Yep.
was asked multiple times if I had another racing league over on dirt
Yep.
running at the same time, so I really couldn't do it.
No, you're all good. And also, I know Rep's not here. He left for the night, but thank you again. And he's hot right now in the Cup Series, so we're gonna have to run him down and see what we can do next week. So again, thank you everyone. Thank you to everyone that helps out in here, and it never goes unnoticed. So without further ado,
Oh,
we are done for
well,
what?
one thing,
Oh,
Mhm.
oh, oh.
refresher on this.
Mhm.
I said it in chat. I'm gonna say it in here. Points will be posted before we go green flag at Arca at Rockingham on Sunday. Do not ask in chat when points coming out.
Amen.
I've spoke with MB, and with new things that he's adding in there and all.
And now four
It's take
series instead of just one Cup
yeah,
series.
4 series and 5 races. It's hard to get it done in just 3 days. So bear with us. We will have the points out before the start of the next week.
And for the record, he did give us two sets of the points, but we agreed to hold off on releasing them until everything's all ready. But again,
Now
thanks
you
everyone for joining
now you can
tonight.
end the show.
Thank you, thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely night. We'll see you next week on Track Walk.